Most of you who watch this channel now know I'm a pretty big Castlevania fan. And I don't know if you've heard recently, but the Castlevania franchise is apparently getting a collection. And we don't know that many details about it. The only thing that we know is Australia recently rated a Castlevania Collection in their system of some sort. So, is there a Castlevania Collection coming? I don't know. Konami hasn't said anything official as of right now, but that's not really what I'm here for. I want to talk about 5 games today that if there was a Castlevania Collection created, what 5 games would I put on them? Now, this does not mean it's the top 5 best Castlevania games of all time. It doesn't mean that these are the best, these are the only ones that are good in the franchise, obviously. It's a huge history, huge franchise with so many games. This is just a small sample of games and my reasonings behind why I would put them on a Castlevania Collection. So, we're going to go ahead and kick off our list right now.
Number 5, Castlevania: Legacy of Darkness. I know, everyone doesn't like the Nintendo 64 entries in the franchise, but if Konami actually gave a hoot about their beloved gothic-drenched, ugly duckling of this franchise, they could spend a little time remastering this one with improved resolution and louder music. Most of the music was pretty quiet in the Nintendo 64 Castlevanias, so bumping the volume on them with a remastered soundtrack would definitely enhance the experience. Legacy of Darkness is, technically speaking, the better of the 2 games, with improved controls and camera as well as more fleshed out ideas for level design. It's not perfect, but saving this one from being relegated only to the N64 might be a grave worth digging up for preservation's sake. Number 4, Super Castlevania 4. Personally, this game is not just a fantastic entry in the franchise, but it's also a work of art. Strangely enough, the last time it got a physical release was, well, on the Super NES. So if you want to play it on a more modern system, you're relegated to Virtual Console, which, as we know, isn't exactly known for sticking it out in the long haul. I guess you can consider it physically released on the Super NES Mini as well, but this game deserves to be on a Castlevania Collection just for its artistic brilliance. The atmosphere and music are some of the best on the Super NES, with top-notch instrumentation that's just as beautiful as it is haunting. Gameplay using the 8-way whipping mechanic still hasn't truly been bested since, and it's just further proof that this game deserves another moment in the spotlight. Number 3, Akuma Densetsu. Castlevania III Dracula's Curse has long been considered arguably the best of the first 3 games of the series, but most Castlevania fans are only familiar with what they've seen, and more importantly, what they've heard on the NES. But Dracula's Curse got a release in Japan under the title Akuma Densetsu, and it's honestly the superior version. Enemies cause you to take less damage, allowing for players to not have to struggle as much to see the ending. But more importantly, unless you emulate or have a Famicom or Sharp Twin Famicom, you will miss out on the enhanced audio on this version. The Famicom had the ability to provide extra sound channels if additional chips were created for a game. Technically, the NES can do this as well, but only after heavy modification. Here we get to listen to songs that are beefier, more intense, and vibrant. It's an entirely new way to look at the soundtrack, and if Konami doesn't bring the option of playing this version in a potential collection, they're crazy. With the loose cart fetching for $50 online, it would be nice to be able to access this one on the cheap. Luckily, I already got my own, you know what I'm saying? Number 2, Castlevania Bloodlines. Aside from Virtual Console, Castlevania Bloodlines is only accessible through a Sega Genesis or emulation. It's a shame because Bloodlines is a great entry in the franchise, one that inspired the story of future entries such as Portrait of Ruin. Bloodlines tells the tale of Eric Lecard and Jonathan Morse, 2 vampire hunters trying to defeat Elizabeth Bartley from resurrecting Dracula. The game takes place during World War I, taking on a global environment with levels all over Europe. This was Michiru Yamane's first soundtrack for the franchise, and it remains one of her best. It's a shame it's mostly shackled to the Genesis, and it deserves to be high on this list. Number 1. Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. Shinoa's adventure marked the end of Castlevania as we knew it, with... No, we're not even going to get into that. The story shifted from Belmonts to magic, as Shinoa took on the ability to use glyphs as weapons. She goes around the game gathering glyphs from defeated enemies, allowing herself to level up and become stronger as the game goes on. There's also a town area where Shinoa can go back to if she wants to go on side quests. This remains an engaging break in monotony, and also provides an area of relief when compared to the difficulty in the more traditional action-oriented gameplay, which, while fair, is off the charts tough. Definitely prepare to die a lot in this game. The graphics were at the top of their game for the Nintendo DS, and the music is some of the best Michiru Yamane has ever done. Order of Ecclesia is a must-play, and a must-own for all Castlevania fans. It blends the best of both the Igavania style as well as being inspired by my favorite Castlevania, Simon's Quest. Do yourself a favor and get this one while you can, because it's jumping in price, and it's doubtful that Konami will add this one to their list.
Well, there's my list. So if you watched this and you were like, you know what, just isn't sitting with me right, I wouldn't pick some of those games, leave a comment down below for the games that you would put on a Castlevania collection. I want to hear it right now, so leave your comments down below. And if you're looking for another video to watch with a similar topic, check out my buddy RAX the Great. He did a video very similar to mine on top 5 Castlevania games that he would put on a Castlevania collection. Check out his video as well and subscribe to his channel. Link down below. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys, and check out some of these other Castlevania videos that are listed here. Later!